We're back, and it's Salty Locks. My New Year's resolution was not to have JR. Oh, man, you ruined it with a laugh. I was trying to get these people, give them a little thrill for their money, honey. But no, JR's here. I tried to make a new resolution. I broke it, man. I was supposed to cut out all my toxic friends. And look, he's right there. Right there. 3 hours late today, guys. 3 hours.
An hour and a half.
You know, in the new year, a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to be on time. You know, like, oh, I'm going to quit smoking or I'll be more punctual.
I don't even have a car, dude. I came on.
This guy showed up 3 hours late, dude. And then started doing small talk. You know, like when you do that small talk, when you know you're late, you're like, so what's up? How you been? No, don't fucking what's up, me. Explain why you were late.
You didn't even want to hear my explanation.
You know, like 15, 20 minutes, you give the person like, oh, yeah, sure. What was your explanation? After 2 hours, bro, it was boiling.
It was not.
Yeah, dude, I ruined. This is, you know, the new year. You know, I got shit to do. We got a podcast to create. I hope you all had a great holiday. You know, JR and I were touring quite a bit this last few months, and it was a lot of fun. We just got back from Edmonton. We did New Year's in Edmonton at the House of Comedy. Oh, no, Comic Strip. The weather was just fucking cold, dude. I mean, I say cold, and you tell people like, oh, yeah, it was cold. They go, well, what was it? Minus 40 degrees. That's the coldest place on the planet, I think. I think it was like the top 3 coldest places in the planet. It's like, why the fuck do people go and settle in these places? You know what I mean? It's like they like to like brag about it. You know, they're like, oh, this is nothing. It's like, it's something to me. A couple guys from Southern California, JR brought fucking Mexican tap dancing shoes to the snow. Like he brought boots, but they were slick bottom. Well, explain your boots.
Well, I mean, I bought them like 2 years ago, right? And they're pretty expensive, you know. I bought them because they say buy boots that'll last.
Mm.
I thought all boots came with like grip.
Bro, your boots they're slick. They make the noise, you know, tick, 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 tick. Like if you was to walk down a hallway, you'd think a bad bitch was coming. You know, they click like it's a high heel. And they're just slick bottoms, like for tap dancing or some shit, you know? And he brought these shoes to fucking Edmonton, Canada, where the roads are frozen. Like everything is just ice. So if you don't have grip on your shoe or like a little bit of traction, you're not gonna make it anywhere. And we had to go CVS or something, or like a Safeway, like 2 minutes from the condo. And so we're like, oh, we'll just go walk it. And we start walking, dude. And JR has his, we have video. This is the best part. JR is walking with his selfie stick because he's like, oh, man, it's so cold. And this motherfucker's reporting live from Edmonton with his selfie stick.
First of all.
What?
Fuck you. Because you were like, hey, let's record this. And so I go, okay, I got a selfie stick. So I'm recording you walking out.
So, you know, whatever. All the details are in there. Anyway, did you or did you not, Your Honor, have a selfie stick? He had it. Whether I said it or not is inconsequential.
Okay, I did have it.
Yeah, you had it, right? So there you go. So JR has the fucking thing, and he's walking with it, not paying attention, and it's like snow on the ground, but he doesn't realize this shit's going to get slick real quick. So he does this.
I think we should get glasses, fool. I'm not gonna lie. Your eyelids are getting cold. Oh.
Whoops. This is when I realized the difference between Americans and Canadians, dude. I immediately get my phone out and start recording him because he's on the ground. It was funny to me. And then all the other Canadians that were driving by were literally looking at him like, oh, my God, the poor homeless guy.
I was walking, and then I was slipping, and then you had to hold my hand on some occasions.
My God, dude, that's exactly what happened. So then JR couldn't get his fucking footing. So, and then I just had to like document it. This is strictly for documentation purposes. This is what it looked like, just so I could share with you guys. was literally couldn't catch a grip. So then I had to fucking walk with him like hand in hand. You know, like we're gay and we're gonna make a statement. And it's Edmonton, you know, like I don't know what they don't have like a huge gay community, I don't think, but we were the first. And we were slipping around and they're like, and you know, I was basically holding him. You know, like my knees, I've been telling you guys, like my knees have been hurting, like my knees and my ankles and everything from carrying this fucking guy for the last, I don't know how many years. I got it in. Well, I don't know if you guys know how a show works when you go. I don't know if you know how a comedy show works. When a headliner brings somebody, brings an opening act, right? They're the opening act. Then you like it to be pleasant and pleasurable and fun for the crowd. And I got to watch this guy for 25 and 20 minutes, 15, 25, and whatever it is. And I got to just sit there and watch. And I got to go, all right, now I got to dig the crowd out of this fucking enormous hole my boy is set up for them, you know? To some people, I swear to God, this last time in Edmonton, I heard somebody go, is this still a comedy club? Somebody said that because he was doing somewhat of a spoken word. I guess it was more of a storytelling, you know? Well, the punchlines are very seldom and hard to find.
That's a good word, seldom.
Seldom, yeah. Add that to your vocabulary. I think that you have more of a chance of finding Bigfoot than you do a punchline in JR's set. My boy is very lackluster in this. My God. JR, why don't you plug your Instagram for people?
JR Cruise Comedy.
If you want to go there and really get depressed, go ahead, man. That's the one to go to. You know, where some people are like, hey, there's comedians that come up, you know, and I really, not to blow smoke up my ass, but sometimes comics will be like, hey, man, I've watched you for a few years and, you know, you really inspired me to do comedy, man. You really do it great. And then JR does get messages like that, too. But they're like, man, if you could do it, I could do it, too. And that's good. You know, you get encouraged by mediocrity and you get encouraged by greatness. I'm saying. God damn, my New Year's resolution is to fuck with JR more. If I could be most honest. 40 below is incredibly cold. And then we were pretty much prisoners to the condo because we didn't have a car. So we just sat in the house and two fucking damn near 40-year-old men are just doing the boiling water trick. Like in that weather, if you boil water and you throw it in the air, it just like evaporates. It just turns into snow. We did it 3 times.
I do want to say, when you say 2 people in their 40s, you're embellishing.
What do you mean?
There's only one person in their 40s.
No, I just turned 40.
Yeah, so you keep saying
I said
like,
the damn near 40. I said 2 people in their damn near 40s, which is totally fine.
Okay, I'm just thinking.
But also when we go out places, people ask, they go, hey, who's the older guy? They'll ask me sometimes. They go, hey, did you bring that older guy? I go, who? And I look, I like think they're talking about an old man. And I look and I go, oh no, that's JR. He's my son. He's more of my son. So yeah, dude. I don't know, man. So JR, tell me what are your New Year's resolutions, bro?
I'm gonna work out.
Oh, buddy.
First of all, this guy.
Hey,
no.
Hey,
no. Because Amir,
JR is the type of guy that'll drink protein drinks and not work out. You know, like he's that type of guy. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna start eating healthier. You know, you got to get my 6-pack abs on.
Dude, I don't want to body shame, and I know there's body positivity and all that, and I'm by no means in great shape at the moment, guys. But I'm telling you right now, we were trapped in a condo, right, in Edmonton, and the tits I saw in this man that's sitting right to my left over here. I mean, he may go in a women's locker room, and they wouldn't even kick him out. They would like let him stay in there. Like, no, they go, and then they'd look at his beard and be like, "What the fuck is going on? This bearded lady has got an amazing rack," if I don't say so myself. So it's like it's body positive as a woman, for sure. Are you in transition?
No.
Okay, I thought you had something to tell me after I saw you in the towel. Fool. So what kind of workouts are you going to be doing?
I'm going to do calisthenics.
Excuse me?
Calisthenics. It's like your own natural weight working out.
Oh, prison.
Push-ups.
Prison workout.
Yeah.
What is it called, though?
Calisthenics.
Excuse me?
Calisthenics.
Calisthenics?
Yeah. That's what it's called.
Say it again.
Calisthenics.
How do you say it?
Calisthenics.
Oh, this guy, dude. I think we need to get you Rosetta Stone for the
Wait,
English language.
Am I saying it wrong?
Yeah, the English language. Woo.
Wait. Calisthenics. Is it I thought it was
know.
calisthenics.
You said something earlier. I love these little words because, like, my boy, you know, maybe he went to public school. I went to public school. Maybe I paid attention a little more than he did. But he'll fucking butcher words, dude. And I thought maybe he was going to say, like, hey, you know, my New Year's resolution is to not fuck up the English language. I thought that would be, a good New Year's resolution. No, it wasn't. He said, I want to go to the gym.
No, but my New Year's resolution is to go to the gym and expand my vocabulary.
Don't add it now that I've said it.
No, look, I even had it in my little journal.
What's your word today? Every time we do a podcast now, JR's going to have a word that he's learning. So give me the new word.
Haphophobia.
It's an extreme fear or dislike of touching. So anything you do to me, that's
Haphophobia, dude. What is that? What it is? Haphophobia?
Yeah,
you're a haphophobic.
Haphophobia.
Yeah, all your girlfriends have been haphophobic of your ass. That's what that is, dude. That's a new segment we got. It's called Words with JR. Where JR is learning expanding his vocabulary this year. This is a new season of Salty Locks. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being back. But we are here, and it's 2022. 2022. What a year that is, huh? 2022, man. Like 2019 and 2020 were the same year to me. Like it was all 1 year. And that shit went by way too quick.
Dude, I want to get a nice chest. Watch.
Oh, you mean like a workout chest?
I have to do prison workouts because my body is like a Mexican, right? So if you don't work out, you do get those titties. So like, you ever seen like a really buff Mexican? So he has a nice chest, Arnold Schwarzenegger chest.
Yeah, sure.
That's the chest I'm gonna get.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But right now you have like a kind of a machete.
Yeah.
You know how he has the machete?
Yeah,
He's kind of got the
yeah.
big breasts.
Like you can't get that type of body.
Oh, I can. We're gonna do it before and after.
You can, no.
Are you down to do it before and after?
I'm down. Your
right.
body can't.
No
get...
photoshopping this shit, dude.
We're
gonna do it before and after, okay? From the year. Okay, so we're gonna say, when do you want to do it?
We'll do 3 months.
Yeah. So we'll start now.
But we have to show the before at the 3-month mark. We can't show it now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to scare I don't want it's the viewers that are here to, break their computers, of course.
We'll get flagged. Don't be fucking around. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because I thrive with competition. So it's actually better for me. So to make you look bad.
You thrive in competition.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I would beg to say the opposite. I would beg to differ with you. Because I've been watching you amongst the other talent in the city. And, if you do comedy, you want to live in L.A. or you want to live in New York. You know why? Because the most competition. It makes you good. The cream rises to the top. And sometimes the sediment, JR, will sink to the bottom. When you have a little bit of shit in your beer or a little bit of grain of salt or something, where does that go? Kind of toward the bottom, right?
No, that's good. I don't think you use sediment right.
I did. Sediment particles, huh? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on the comments. I want to have like some cool trolls on the. Oh yeah, you. I swear to God, all the comments that are negative ever on the YouTube is JR and some fucking catfish account. I know it. I know it for a fact. Yeah, so we were in Edmonton for the New Year's Eve shows. I mean, we got into town Thursday, and then we did shows Friday and Saturday. Friday happened to be New Year's Eve, so that's like a big comedy weekend. So a lot of comics will do the New Year's Eve shows, which is like a big event, and the clubs will like do a package deal where they have like champagne and dinner and all that. So we did ours at the comic strip, which is a very busy time for Edmontonians or people in that part of Canada because it's so fucking cold that they got nothing to do. So the best thing to do is go inside somewhere and sit around with a bunch of people and laugh your ass off, which the places were packed. You never know what you're going to get, though, because they just started. So Edmonton did a thing. I know I talked to a lot of my buddies, and they they're having good times. It's a weird time to be doing these type of shows because a lot of people in, closed environments and shit like that with the variants and everybody's scared. So some of the places are not as full. And then the thing that we had to go through was they had implemented this new guideline where everybody has to be closed on New Year's Eve at 11.
At 12. You got to be out at 12.
You have to be out at 12 and no liquor at 11.
Yeah, after 11.
After 11. And I knew this was a recipe for some crazy shit to go down. And it did. So we had a great first show on New Year's Eve because we had like a 7 o'clock show, and then we were supposed to have like a 10 o'clock show that goes till like, 11:45, and then we do the countdown and everyone says Happy New Year, and then everyone takes off. The thing that happened was everybody was already drinking. So for the late show, the early show was fine. I think that was the one with the lady with the crutches and everything, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And that was
No. That was the second show still.
No way.
Yes, that all happened in the second show.
You're kidding me.
Yes.
Okay, so the first show went pretty smooth.
And the first show was actually dope as shit.
Okay, from what I remember, I thought it was the first show was the crutches lady and then the thing. No? Okay.
No, because it happened at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing the show. I'm doing the, riffing around and stuff like that. And there's a girl who's on crutches. So I was like, oh, man, that sucks, So I started doing like some riffing with it. And I grab her crutches. I go, if you don't mind, like I was just having a loose, fun set, for the first show. And I grab, I go, you don't mind, right? So I get the fucking crutches, and she's super short. So they're like really low. So I start doing some bullshit with the crutches. And then I, instead of like put the crutches back to where they were next to her, she was in the front, with her leg up on another chair. So instead of putting the crutches back next to her where she can access them, I put them like right behind me. And I may have even made a joke like, here, so now you can't leave.
Yeah.
Something. And then I forgot about the crutches, and I'm still doing the show. And then there was like another fucking couple in the front that was so shit-faced that they broke up, and they were right in the front row. And they broke up with each other during the fucking show. And I'm dealing with that shit. And then I was like trying to handle it and smooth it out because the girl was like yelling at the guy. I'll put some footage of it either on this podcast or I'll put a separate clip on my Instagram. It was the craziest thing. The girl's like, no, we're not even together anymore. Some shit like that. It was like, and then I'm trying to perform. And what I was trying to tell you guys is when you have to have drinks in at 11, that means everyone's ordering fucking extra drinks. Every time they were ordering way more than they should have. So this audience, the late show, the 10 o'clock show, was absolutely shit-faced. Because if you have drinks on your table, you're not going to fucking sit there and wait and time it out. Especially if you're fucked up and you're a cold-ass Edmontonian. You're going to start pounding those drinks. I mean, I was looking at tables with like 8 shots on them for 2 people. 8 shots for 2 people, and then having drinks as well. And that in a short amount of time is going to get you pretty fuck up. So they were just hammered. There was guys slither. I couldn't even understand half of them anymore. They're like, hey, like I would do something. I'd do a joke, and then like there would be some ruffling in the audience. And I mean, I was working. Like I always say, stand-up's not a job. It's the most fun job in the world. Like it's like you're not working. This time I was working, and I was working fucking hard, man, to keep their attention. And I'm like, God damn it. Like this is going to go off the rails. At some point, the audience was like fighting with each other. They were like arguing with each other. And I was instigating. I almost was inciting a riot.
Yes.
I was like, yeah. And I was like turning them on each other. And then I remember thinking, dude, stop. And I was trying to get it back on track, but the people were just fighting to keep it wild, dude. They were all talking shit to each other. People were just fucked up. They were slithering in their chairs, dude. Do you remember the guys in the back? They were like, and they were trying to heckle, but you couldn't even understand what the fuck they were saying, dude.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was insane. And then we had to go back to do, and that Viking guy, was that the second show?
Yeah, that's Viking guy.
My God.
Viking guy was up there.
They were
and
great.
Then there was people that were talking to the hecklers, like telling them to shut up, but then they became the ones yelling at you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like in a good way. Like they
Right.
were like positive hecklers, but it's still a heckler.
Well, yeah, there was just people like that couldn't hold their voices down. Like one lady was like, I like your sweater. Like they were just now, when they got so fucked up that normally you wouldn't say anything, but then after you got some liquid courage, you're just going to say shit. I like your hair. Like just people are just now yelling whatever's on their mind.
She calls you Lord Farquaad. She calls
Oh
you-
yeah, right. This was another show. I thought
Oh shit! It was. That was
a Sunday show.
That was a Sunday show.
I don't know, man. When
Holy
it's cold,
shit.
the moral of the story is when it's cold, people get fucked up. But anyway, this girl, she goes, "You look like the midget guy from Shrek."
Yes.
I say, "What?"
And then someone else said, Lord Farquaad. You do look like him, but you look like him like a younger version of him. Like,
Oh my god, that's so fucking dope. Yeah, I look like this guy. Oh my god. So she called me that, and then this happened. I look like the guy from Shrek.
Yeah, the midget one.
Get me the fuck out of here, dude. I gotta get out of here. I'm not going back on. This fucking crowd is horrible. Everyone in the crowd sucks, and you know it. What? My mic's on? Fuck. Oh. Just a second, guys. I'm just trying to figure out something with the sound guy. All right. Hi, everyone. Isn't comedy fun? Isn't comedy grand?
So basically, yeah, man, what I've been up to this last few months and why I haven't done the podcast is because I was just so busy on the road, man. Like every weekend, I was doing shows, you know, in like a different city. So it's really tough when you're only home for like 3 days a week to, you know, edit and shoot a podcast and stuff like that. So, and we don't have it set up like super seamless yet. So anyway, I was just so busy touring. JR came on some of the gigs, some of them he didn't, but it was because honestly, I took the gigs because I didn't know like if they were going to shut shit down again. So I just needed to work and make a little bit of money. So I just took every date on the calendar. Normally I like to do like maybe 2 weekends out of the month, but this last 3-4 months, I was every fucking weekend working, which is really hectic on, you know, traveling. You're on planes every, you know, 2 seconds and these long flights. I swear to God, I'm gonna have blood clots in my legs. All these long ass flights just sitting there, you know, not stretching and shit, which I should be doing. But anyways, the shows were really good. I was in Philly, I was in DC just a couple weeks ago. I did a little East Coast run, and had a couple friends with me. We stayed at a buddy's house, my homie Ali Reza, and we were like a bunch of old guys making TikTok videos and shit in the house. It was great. We made this one.
Stay here. We smoked some weed and we went to weed and we smoked more weed. Guys trip. We're in DC and we're not PC and we smoke more weed. Guys trip. No girlfriends and the beers don't end. And then we smoke more weed. Guys trip. Guys trip. Guys
We were just doing shit like that. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, how different my life is to some of my friends' lives. Like I'm, you know, 40 years old and I'm doing shit like that. Like, dude, when am I supposed to grow up? You know, because I look in the mirror and there's gray hair. You know, my other friends are like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, it was so funny because like we did that video and, you know, we're like all grown ass men. And then like the weekend after, I was going to visit my Uncle Alan, who lives in Delaware. And he's cool as fuck. He's like my dad, a little bit like 20 years younger or some shit. And he's just cool as hell, dude. Super East Coast dude. A connoisseur of all sorts of different, you know, like coffee, and he has a pipe collection and like a crazy watch collection, you know, with all these things. And I've gotten into a few little things during the pandemic or whatever, like learning a little bit more about watches and shit. So he blew me away with this fucking crazy collection. And anyway, he's like a very, you know, distinguished gentleman, if you will. And I go, oh yeah, and Sarah was with me, my girlfriend was with me, and she goes, She goes, oh yeah, show him the guys trip video. And I'm like, ha, ha, he. And I'm acting like I'm fucking 16, you know? I'm going, he. Look, and like, it's a fucking long video. You saw the video. Like, you know, it's not like a quick 15-second thing. And he's just watching it, but I'm watching him watch it. And I had this realization. I go, oh my God, I'm a fucking grown baby. I'm an adult baby, dude. I'm a fucking adult child. Like, what the fuck is this? You know? And he's going like, he literally like at the end of the video goes, why did you guys do that? And I was like, and I looked at him and I go, that's a really good question. But I suppose I don't have an answer for you. But it was so fun, man. We made another video. We made an action movie. We like shot all this like crazy shit in my buddy's house, and he has this like really, really nice place in Washington, D.C., and he just bought another place in Virginia. And we were just like shooting sketches and, you know, dumb shit that we just thought would be funny. And this is another one. Here's another one that I'll play for you guys right now.
You always get us in these situations. We're supposed to be having dinner with our wives.
Dinner's at 6. I'm about to come.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. So what's confusing me?
If you're not watching on YouTube, I always do this. I suggest watching the shit on YouTube because it's a lot more fun. Just put it on in the background. You know, you're making breakfast, you're making lunch or some shit. If you got one of those little Apple, or not the Apple things, the Amazon with the little screen, I got one in my kitchen in the mornings when I'm making breakfast and shit. I'd be like, Alexa, play something from YouTube. And the perfect thing to play is Salty Locks.
That action video was pretty good, though. I enjoyed it.
The action video is dope, right?
I always could tell when it's a good one when I watch it more than 2 times.
Well, you're also a big fan.
Yeah. Fuck outta here.
Woo! Got him. Dude, you see JR? You know what's so funny, guys? What's so funny is sometimes, you know, a lot of times when you see a celebrity, right? Like you'll see a celebrity, and I've seen it happen a lot, like at the Comedy Store. Let's say Dave Chappelle or somebody crazy, like, you know, big name will walk in, and then you see like the other comics kind of just like they just stare at him, you know? They just like have this look of like just staring. And I swear to God, I've looked over at JR and I caught him doing that to me so many times, like where he's just maybe in awe, he's enamored or something. I don't know what it is. And I go, hey, snap out of it, man. You're my friend. And he goes, oh, thank you. And I swear to God, he said thank you. I don't even know. It didn't make sense. He goes, oh, thank you. I was like, snap out of it. We're comedians, man. We're in this together, man. You know, sometimes then he's like, hold my hand. I go, what?
You did cook me breakfast, though, like my father.
My God. Okay, here's another thing. So I love to cook. It's no shock. I love to cook, right? So we're talking to some people at the show, and, you know, JR, I'm going to give him props.
I didn't say that. First of all, you're lying.
We're talking to some people, a couple people were talking to us after the show, and JR was like, you know, we were talking about the food or something, and he's like, yeah, man, you know, Amir is a great cook. My father is a really good cook. And he goes, you know, before I was really weird about people touching my food when they were cooking it. Like I had a real thing about it. And, you know, now Amir makes some amazing meals. And I swear to God, he said, now I can't eat anything if Amir doesn't touch it. I said, what? You can't eat if I don't touch it? What does that even fucking mean, man? So we were locked in this condo. We were locked in this condo, man. I'm talking like prisoners of a cold, like it was like we were in a Siberian prison. You know what I mean? Like those Russian prisons that just get like, you know, fucking like Antarctic weather, and these guys can't do nothing but sit in their cells and do whatever they do in that part of the world.
You couldn't find
I
it.
couldn't think of anything. You know, sometimes you do a riff and you can't find it. You know, it's a brain fog. I call it COVID fog. You know, who knows what this COVID shit's done to our brains. You know, I had it, JR had it about 3 weeks ago. And, dude, it was like 3 days of hell. And then that was pretty much it for me. But then I remember I was like really exhausted those fucking days. Like I couldn't even get up out of bed. Like I'd just get up to do something and I had to go right back to bed. And then I also got like those body aches and chills that I got when I got my booster shot. Because I got the Moderna booster like a couple months ago or a month ago. And I felt like those chills and same shit. And then I talked to one of my buddies who goes, that means it's working. Everyone's Fauci, you know. Oh, that means it's working. Yeah, if you get the chills, that means your immune system's strong. So I was like, oh, hell yeah. And then I fucking got COVID, and coming back from Philly, I got COVID, and it felt just like it felt when I had the booster shot, like the worst part of that feeling.
You did come through with the oatmeal.
We were trapped inside the condo, so we're just like cooking our own meals. So we went to the grocery store. I think we were high too, so we got don't ever go to the grocery store high. We got like all the same. I think we got like 55 things to make for breakfast because it was that around that time. You know, so when you're high and you're thinking like, oh, what can I eat? And you're like, well, cereal. And but bro, you know, you can get we can make some oatmeal. Oh, but we can also make some eggs. Why wouldn't we get bacon if we have eggs? So we had 300 things to make breakfast.
At the end, though, we just kept eating the same, just oatmeal.
It felt like it was fit for the weather. And like if we were in a Siberian prison, you know, where the weather gets that cold, I think that's what you would eat. Yeah. Sans the berries. That's an expression I want you to learn. Sans.
Sans the berries?
Not sans the berries, but you could say sans anything.
Sans?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means without.
Sans.
I think it's a French word for without.
Oh.
Yeah, I learned it like pretty late in life too. I heard somebody say it and I go, what the fuck do you mean sans? Sans what? Good. And it's like, oh, sans guest. And it was like an invitation, like meaning you don't get a +1. It was like, you are invited, sans guest. You're our guest of the sand. I was like, what the fuck is this?
That's a pretty good saying because you always have to explain what it means so it makes you feel better than the person.
I didn't feel better by any means. I was thinking I should cut this out of the podcast because it's two idiots educating each other on a fucking word that pretty much most people would know.
No,
if you don't know what the word sans is, put a comment if you didn't know before listening to this podcast. I feel like we have a pretty educated fan base. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're the stupidest people that have ever watched the podcast. So thank you guys for tuning in, you fucking Harvard graduates. So we were in Canada a couple times this last few months. Jared and I actually went to do another one of the clubs that just opened up in Vancouver. It's called the House of Comedy. We had a blast, man. We met up with my boy Dino Archie. You guys have heard him on the podcast before. I love linking with him because it's like old homie. I mean, it was a billion laughs we had. I did his podcast, which you can go check out. It's called Strictly Beloved. It's a really fun podcast they do with our buddy Marito, who's another super high energy, super funny dude. But anyway, we were running around town. We took the train from New West to Vancouver to meet Dino, and we'd hang out all day, and then we'd take the train back, and it was a great time. But we were on the train, me and JR, and I sit down in one chair. There's like a girl sitting by herself right in front of me, and JR's standing on his phone, and we look like fucking thugs. We're all black. You know, we have that LA look. We're all black. He's wearing a fucking trench coat. Like a full-on black trench coat, dude, with a black beanie and a mask that's black, and we're both wearing bandanas. They don't wear bandanas in Canada. They wear actual masks because they fucking follow the rules. But me and him, we have fashionista fucking bandanas, but we look like train robbers. And we're sitting there, so we're already looking creepy and shit. And I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to take a picture of JR, and the girl's kind of sitting like facing this way. I'm taking this picture, and the girl looks, because the way I have my camera, it looks like I'm fucking taking a picture of her. And so I'm like, oh my God. And I could see her physically getting like uncomfortable. I go, JR. And I give him a head nod because I'm like, I wanted her to know I'm taking a picture of him. But now it looks like the way I said JR, it looked like I was saying, hey, we got her right where we want her. Because she was in between the both of us, you know, and I'm sitting down and he's standing up, and it looked like we're waiting for the train to stop so we can fucking pounce on her or wait for her to get off and we're going to trail her. So I was going, JR, like to say, like, look up, so I have to take a picture. But he looks at me and he looks at the girl and then he does a head nod. He goes, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then the girl started, she was reading a book, but she wasn't reading the book. After she saw me with the camera, she was not reading the book anymore. She was going, I could see her having because I was kind of like, I was like looking at her through now the reflection of the other window of the train. And I could see her like looking, like not really looking at her book, but I wanted to just look like I was looking away. So she's like kind of not looking at the book and she's going, what the fuck am I going to do? And I see, and I could be making all this up, you know, because I don't know what's going on in her head, but the way I saw it, she was like, oh my God, I'm about to get fucking jumped by these two guys, these two creeps in all black. They've already done the signals. I'm like, God damn, I felt bad for her. So the next stop, we get off the train. It wasn't even our stop. And then we go like one train car down and we get back on the train. And so now we're in the other train car, but the train car has a glass window through to the other train car. So now she sees us get off and go, and now we're looking back at her from one more train back. And now it looks like a total, like, whoa, we look like we got off, but then we got back on because nobody in their fucking right mind would do that.
No.
Who would do that?
Here's the thing. I didn't know what was going on. So I go, why we get off? We could have sat over there. And I start pointing.
Oh, yeah.
Through the car.
Yeah, oh, my God. And the girl looks over through the window of the next train car and could see us. And JR's fucking pointing at her and going like as if to say, our target is right there. We left her behind. And I'm like, dude, you fucked up again. Next stop, we get off. We go 3 trains back now to get completely out of this chick's eyes. And it must have been the most horrific few minutes for this woman, dude. And I felt so bad. I didn't know what the fuck to say. But at the end of it, JR did attack.